Hello and welcome to your NewsmaxNow update. I'm John Bachman. An estimated 100 million people in the Midwest and Northeast are either digging out of or getting ready to get buried underneath a massive winter storm. The nor'easter, which is forming off the East Coast, is expected to impact about a third of the nation. According to the National Weather Service, this storm will, quote, raise havoc. The Weather Service says the storm system will lead to whiteout conditions, making travel extremely dangerous in places like Boston, Massachusetts.
I'm very concerned about the frigid temperature. I am urging everyone to stay indoors, check on your elderly neighbors, see homeless individuals, call the police or emergency services. We're hard here in New England. We've been here before.
So far, more than 1,000 flights have been canceled in anticipation of the storm. And investigators are still trying to figure out what caused a building in Minneapolis to explode. Witnesses say the blast ripped through the entire building, forcing at least 3 people to jump out of fire escape windows. That fire followed and ripped through the building. One man felt the explosion from across the street.
When I looked out here and people were, I saw like 3 people jump out of the window. I wanted to come out and do something, but you know.
Authorities say as many as 13 people were taken to hospitals with injuries, and at least 6 of those victims suffered critical injuries. Many of the victims at the scene were already outside after escaping from the burning building. There were 10 units in that apartment complex inside that building. 9 of them were occupied at the time of the explosion. And a missing banker accused of a multi-million-dollar money laundering scheme has been caught. Aubrey Lee Price, 47, was arrested after faking his own death in 2012 to cover up the alleged theft of millions of dollars, according to police. Price was just arrested in Georgia after being stopped on I-95 for heavily tinted windows in his 2006 pickup truck. Investigators say he moved $21 million into accounts to hide his thefts and losses he made from investments when he was the director of a South Georgia bank. Price faces up to 30 years now in prison. And the folks on that research ship in the Antarctic have finally been airlifted to safety. The 4th attempt was the charm for the 52 scientists, tourists, and journalists who were on that Antarctic ship trapped in ice. A helicopter from a Chinese icebreaker brought everyone to safety, but just a few at a time. That helicopter took the passengers to an Australian icebreaker, which will take them on a 2-week journey to Tasmania to drier and warmer land, hopefully. That vessel had been in place, frozen since Christmas Eve. Earlier rescue attempts failed due to bad weather and that thick ice. And coming up next, embattled Toronto Mayor Rob Ford now officially running for re-election. Why he says he should win even after admitting to smoking crack. And we have a Newsmax exclusive with former UN Ambassador John Bolton. All that next. And welcome back. Embattled Toronto Mayor Rob Ford is now officially running for re-election. Ford officially filed his nomination papers shortly after the clerk's office opened today. Ford told reporters that he has the strongest track record and has been the best mayor Toronto has ever had. Ford says it's up to the people for themselves to decide, despite numerous personal problems including admitted drug use. And during a Newsmax exclusive, former UN Ambassador John Bolton weighs in about a recent New York Times story on the attack at the U.S. consulate in Benghazi, Libya. The Times report discounted much of the involvement by al-Qaeda in the attack and said that Bolton said the paper and the Obama administration used too narrow of a definition when describing terrorism.
The fact is, al-Qaeda, since 9/11 at least, and probably before, has been a very different kind of organization than a corporate hierarchy or a government bureaucracy.
I'm John Bachman. This has been your NewsmaxNow update. The Steve Malzberg Show is live now from New York.